Welcome to 108 Gate. We're doing a combined Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine reading, just to check in on if there are any points at which there is harmony being created or if there's some resolution coming in. Just a catch up of seeing where the combined Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine energies are. I hope you're well. And here we go. So, insight, the answers are there for those who look. We are looking. So what do we find when we're looking? We are looking. Protection. Interesting. So finding protection. This is feeling as though when you're following your instincts and your intuition and you feel like you need to stop and just take an assessment, take a moment to align with where you are, take a moment to make sure you're aligned with where you are, and there's not certain things that are kind of going too far off into the future, or dragging the heels in the past, something like that. Being very present, being very, I'm going to say, approachable in this moment, whatever that means. Strength. So being approachable in this moment, in this epoch, in this space, feels like it's a recognition of where you may have been more standoffish, where you may have been hidden from the world. Are you now preparing to step up into new spaces, step up into new ways of being? So we've got Divine Masculine cards first. Let's see what they... So if I'm going from the 2 cups are down mode, 3 cups were up, feeling less of the loss of that and feeling more so ready to overcome that, overlook that, but not overlook it that it's ignored and you haven't evolved in some manner. It's more to do with having looked at it. You saw the 2 cups were down, you saw the 3 cups were up. You've dealt with accepting the 3 cups that are up, and then the 2 cups that are down, wanting to refill those, but with something that's more substantial and more appropriate for self. It's kind of seeing the blessing in a not so great situation, seeing the silver lining, seeing that sometimes things spill and we have to deal with it the best we can. So then there's going to be a lot of tugging and pulling, tussling and tugging with what we are trying to achieve now. The things are shifting. Some things that we thought that were important are kind of evaporating and not being held in our mind or our energy field as if it's so important. And it's kind of as though we're not so much just letting go of it, but more so surrendering to the process, surrendering to that which is more appropriate to allow new things come in. It's a surrender to receive something that's more appropriate instead of trying to make something fit. We're seeing there's some things that are just not going to fit, won't fit, or we don't need it to fit, because actually if I just let it go and see where it goes, there may be something even better than I imagined. So this is where these 2 wands now are kind of batting back and forth, like where are we going now, what are we doing, reassessment. This feels like a very clean, sharp energy. Emperor coming in to the Divine Feminine area and just saying, like, this is it now. This is where we've been sitting for so long and thinking about the 2 cups that fell over, the 2 cups that spilled. We haven't got time for that. We don't have space for that anymore. You've done your mourning, you've done your grieving, and any mourning or grieving or resentment, regret, whatever it is still remaining over this. You're in a stronger place. Your strength has picked up in so many different areas that you are feeling protected, that along the way now you'll be able to deal with certain things that still bring up some memories of grief, that still bring up some energies of grief. It's not holding you back, or you're not allowing it to hold you back or down as you did before, because the grip of it is not on you or holding on to you like it did previously. So now with you letting it go, it's almost as though part of your identity had been locked in that certain kind of sadness, that certain kind of grief. And it wasn't necessarily that you were sad. It may be that it's just been an energy that's around you, and you just kind of took it on as in, like, I've got to be sad about this, I've got to be pessimistic about this, because you didn't know any other way to be. So now it's the new ways of being, the new ways of seeing things coming in and allowing you to then recalibrate purely, even more so, in alignment with yourself. Like I said, there may be pockets of grief and pockets of regret, resentment, things like that, but at the same time it's no way near having a hold on you like it may have done previously. And the Emperor is here to support that in the feminine energy too. So it's kind of like that is the Emperor energy coming up and showing up excuse me, in the feminine area, feminine space, to say it's safe, the protection is there, the insight is there. We are getting the insight more so in the masculine area right now as to what now it's safe to move on. So if you are moving, if you were camping, or you were doing a trek up a mountain or something like that, and there was a dangerous animal or something like that, just as an example, it wasn't safe for you to proceed. Or it may have been make it more neutral, dangerous weather, there was a dangerous wind coming in, and you had to wait it out, you had to sit it out and just make sure that weather, that flurry of bad weather had passed. Then when that flurry of bad weather has passed, then you feel more ready and able and aware of how to proceed now, where to proceed now, because that time that you took sitting it out and waiting, you could see the impact it was having, and being glad that at least I'm not in that in that storm, I'm not out there in that wind, I'm not out there in those conditions. That's where the Two of Cups, then it was seen as, yes, there's a storm, but at least I'm not out in it, seeing the silver lining. The benefit of seeing the silver lining is seeing then that you are assessing things in a particular way which is beneficial for self. Then that is supporting the feminine energies, the feminine emotions of like, do I do this, do I not do this, how do I step forward, having more confidence to step forward in the appropriate manner, in the appropriate way, at the appropriate time. Timing is quite important here for some reason. There seems to be a lot of back and forth, really being aware of the timing. So some things, yes, you want to have done, but you have to do A, B and C first. It has to be in process, it has to be in order. And also on top of that, it also has to be that you can't just throw the onions, as an example, you can't just throw the onions in for 1 second and expect them to be softened. If you need the onions to be softened properly, you've got to put the onions in properly, soften them properly, caramelize them, whatever, then add the next ingredients. So it's going through that process, but accepting that each part of the process is going to take a certain amount of time. It's going to take a particular epoch of time. It's going to take a particular focus on a certain step, on a certain part of the process. So it's quite methodical. It's quite strategic, and I'm saying it's foolproof, but we got the Fool here that's going into something. What I mean by that is that you're tightening the way you do things. You're being more you're managerial, kind of managing the steps better. And as you're feeling that you're managing the steps better, that's going to increase your confidence. There you go. And you got the Three of Coins. So the Three of Coins is really making some due diligence, making some decisions and choices based on further and more thorough assessment, more detail orientated, of like, if someone says they're going to do something, before you would have been so ecstatic and just gone along with it and said, yeah, I've got a comrade in this project or whatever it is, I've got someone who's going to work with me, and then they let you down. And then it's like, well, did you actually check how realistic their claim to be doing this with you was? Did you actually check to see that if they had the things, the qualification or whatever it is to back up what they're claiming they wanted to do with you? Did they have the do you know what I mean, the determination, the persistence, the discipline to do it with you as well? And this time, having been through certain experiences, through certain storms, you know to check up on those things. You know that I've got to make sure that this person isn't just talking about it, is actually going to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. So you can feel that your assessment, your taking that time to make sure that you're doing the correct thing for yourself as well is making sure that you're feeling confident in this. And as you're feeling more confident, it's going to start bringing in other possibilities. If you're confident to do a marathon, for example, and then you're confident to swim, then you start building your confidence in cycling too, and then you do that triathlon thing. I don't remember exactly what, but that's what's coming up, that you're confident to do all three tasks, all three activities to the best of your ability. So you're confident as when you go into the race. Very, very busy, fast energy. So there you go, bringing in completion in the world, bringing in a greater picture in your world. And with that, I'm going to say, just go into those energies and enjoy those energies and allow them to inform you of what progress you're making, loving the harmony that's coming in. And so for now, peace and love.